Hi, guys. Here is Unit 9 Vocabulary, the last unit in this marking period. Yay. Okay, so here we go. So, just some reminders. I'm going to pause after each slide. That is going to make the slideshow on the long side, but that's just because I want to give you time to pause the video and write down the words. So, again, I'm going to pause after every slide. Make sure you write your own sentences, and this time around, I'm going to be focusing on adjectives. Those are words that describe nouns. So, if you look at the example, happy is the adjective describing child, which is the noun. Okay? All right, here we go. Our first word is unwanted, unwanted, and it means not normal, unusual, or expected. This is an adjective, so it's going to describe something that is, abnormal, something that is not usual or expected. So, for example, the sentence would be because Rick's wife had just died, everyone was surprised by his unwanted happiness, his unusual happiness. It's usually a neutrally toned word because you could be like unusual in a good way or unusual in a bad way, or in a good way rather, either or. The next word is tantamount. It is an adjective, and it will help you to remember this word if you just think about the fact that it has the word amount in it. It means equivalent in value, significance, or effect. Again, it means equivalent in value, significance, or effect. A good synonym might be equal to, or same as. Tantamount is a neutrally toned word. And if you take a look at this sentence, it is an adjective describing the relationship being the noun. So it says, our relationship now is not tantamount to the passionate love we had for each other 2 years ago. So here, tantamount, meaning like the same in value. So our relationship isn't as passionate as it was 2 years ago. It's not the same as. A lot of people think that like chocolate is tantamount to vanilla, but it is not. Personal opinion there, but whatever. So tantamount just means like equal to. The next word is substantiate. Substantiate. It is a verb, so it's something that you have to do. So it means provide evidence to support or prove the truth of. So again, it's a verb and it means provide evidence to show or prove the truth of. Some good synonyms would be given substance, support, uphold, bear out. Substantiate is a neutrally toned word again. In this sentence, they had found nothing to substantiate the allegations. They, the pronoun, right, is doing the action of substantiating or finding truth in the noun allegations. So, again, substantiate is finding a way to support your opinion. So, like, last year, you guys had to write a research paper where you had to argue a controversial topic. A lot of you had a tough time, or maybe had a tough time, finding ways to substantiate your argument, to support or find the truth of the thesis that you came up with. The next word is reputed. Reputed. It's an adjective, and it means having a good reputation. Having a good reputation. Or having or being such according to reputation or general belief. So you are reputed to be a great singer, like everybody knows it. It is another neutrally toned word. A good synonym would be reputable. And in this sentence, he was reputed to have a fabulous house. He, again, is the pronoun, right? Was reputed to have a fabulous house. He was known as having like this amazing house. Here, reputed is the adjective describing him, not the house. The house isn't reputed. He is reputed, right? So he is the one with the reputation. So he was reputed to have a fabulous house. He had a good reputation, reputable. Next word is recant. Recant. It's a verb, and it means to take back something you've said, to withdraw a statement or belief. to take back something you've said, to withdraw a statement or belief. So some synonyms would be renounce, disavow, or to deny. In the sentence here, heretics were burned if they could not recant. Okay, so here the nouns heretic, right? They would be burned. This is in the Middle Ages. They would be basically like burned alive as witches if they could not withdraw, they could not recant the evil things that somebody supposedly heard them say. Okay, so after you got in trouble or you got caught maybe like cheating on a test or something, you would try to, recant your innocence. You would try to take it back. Our next word is an adjective, and it is putative. Putative. And it means generally considered or reputed to be. Okay, putative, generally considered or reputed to be. So a good sentence for that might be the putative father of a boy of 2 came to the soccer game, right? The reputed, the known, right? The known father of this person came. So you could say something like, in this sentence, the putative ex-boyfriend showed up at the wedding and embarrassed himself, right? So the known boyfriend. Some synonyms might be commonly accepted or supposed, assumed to exist. Okay, this is another neutrally toned word. Again, it's an adjective, so it's going to describe usually a person. So it is somebody who's, assumed to be. The next word, pertinacious. Pertinacious. It is an adjective, and it means holding strong to an opinion, purpose, or course of action. Stubbornly or annoyingly persistent. A good synonym could just simply be persistent. A good sentence would be, after 40 years, the pertinacious detective finally caught the killer. So pertinacious just means holding strongly to an opinion. So this would only describe people who just won't let an opinion go, or they're almost bordering on annoyingly persistent. Like they just keep coming and coming and coming, little children can often be described as pertinacious because they're constantly persistent about like staying up past their bedtime. Here is a group of 3 negatively toned words. That's why I put them together. The first word is improvident, and it's an adjective, and it means wasteful, lacking foresight. Again, it means wasteful or lacking foresight. So you're wasteful because you don't know that you might need something in the future. A good synonym might be absent-minded or short-sighted. So you would say something like, the improvident, this is an adjective, right? So we're going to describe a noun. The improvident, young man spent all of his money on, an expensive car and then had no money left for college. So improvident just means that you are wasteful because you don't see that you might need something in the future. You would only describe like a person as improvident, or a decision, like an improvident decision led to a financial downfall later on in life. The next word here is indigent. Indigent. It is an adjective, and it means suffering from extreme poverty. A good synonym would be impoverished. Indigent, right? So you would say sometimes when you go to big cities, you see a large indigent population, a large population suffering from extreme poverty. Again, negatively toned word. The last word here is pariah, and it's a noun. So we have adjective, adjective, and pariah is the noun. It means one who is despised or rejected, pariah, one who is despised or rejected. A good synonym would be an outcast. So you could say something like, the improvident pariah embarrassed his family when he spent all of his inheritance on, a swimming pool full of Jell-O, right? So a pariah is somebody who's outcast. Improvident is somebody who kind of is wasteful because they don't know that they're going to need it later. Next word is overt, and it's an adjective, and it means done or shown openly, plainly or readily apparent. Some good synonyms might be undisguised, unconcealed, clear, open, blatant. You could say this is a adjective, so it's going to describe a noun. So you would say it was hard to hide an overt act of aggression. So there, overt is describing an act, a thing that showed you were aggressive. So an obvious act of aggression. Sometimes I don't know, overt. I think this is a second cheating example I've come up with. There's like an overt cheater in my class, it's like it's usually very obvious because they're like clearly looking at somebody else's paper. So they're like out and out, open, blatant about it. You could say sometimes it's hard to make an overt attempt to sidestep the truth. So an obvious attempt to sidestep the truth. Again, overt just means open, done plainly, not trying to hide anything. Our next word, again, this is another one I put three together. Again, these are negatively toned words. So the first word, hapless. It's an adjective, and it has to do with people. And it's somebody who is unlucky, a hapless person, right? You wouldn't say like the hapless mirror broke in 1,000 pieces because it's not really about objects, it's about people who are unlucky or unfortunate. Again, unfortunate would have made a good synonym there. A good sentence would be if you're one of the many hapless car buyers who've been shafted, there's not much you could do about it later. If you're one of the unlucky car buyers, okay? The next word is mordant, and it's an adjective, and it means especially of humor, having or showing sharp, critical quality. A good synonym is biting. So you would say, sometimes my mordant sense of humor gets me in trouble. Good synonym might be caustic, sarcastic, sharp. Last word on here is myopic. Myopic. It is an adjective and it means nearsighted. You only see things very, very close. Synonyms are short sighted, lacking imagination, or foresight. You can either describe somebody as being myopic if they have like a real problem seeing, right? They can only see things very close up. Like I have that problem. That's why I wear glasses because I can only see things very close. But far away, if I were to take my glasses off, I couldn't see anything past like 3 feet. So I am very myopic. I have a myopic vision, a vision problem, right? Also, myopic can be in a person who is very short sighted, who doesn't see very far into the future. A lot of times, adults might say to kids that they are very myopic. They don't see like the big picture of life. They're only worried about like the here and now and what's going on in this moment. The next word is irreparable. Irreparable. And if you look at the word, you could see repairable. It means not repairable. It's an adjective. And this is a negatively toned word you can see from the picture. It means impossible to rectify or repair. You can't fix it. Synonyms would be hopeless, unfixable, unrepairable. Sentence would be they were doing irreparable damage to my heart and lungs because of all of the smoking I was doing. In this picture, sometimes something could be actually irreparable if it's like, most of the times it has to do with like the loss of a relationship too, like a relationship was irreparable. So sometimes like in romantic relationships, there could be a lot of fighting and the relationship could be irreparable. It leads to like a breakdown of the relationship. You can't fix it no matter how hard you try. The next word, these are all court justice words. There actually is a lot of those words in this unit, but I grouped these three together because they are definitely court and justice words. The first word is indictment. Indictment, and it is a noun, it's a thing. It's a formal charge or accusation of a serious crime. So, again, it's a formal charge. A good synonym might be accusation. You have to make sure it's like a serious crime too. Like you wouldn't get an indictment for coming to school late. You would get an indictment for murder. All right. A good synonym might be the 40-year-old man was brought up on an indictment for conspiracy. If you go to use this word and you're struggling, try to say indictment for whatever. Indictment for conspiracy, indictment for murder, indictment for, I don't know, treason. Another good sentence would be these rapidly escalating crime figures are an indictment of our society. They are a formal charge on our society that it's been falling apart. The next word is moot. That's how you say that, moot. Moot it has a few parts of speech. The first part is a verb, and it means to raise or question a topic. So you would say Sylvia needed a vacation and a trip to Ireland had been mooted. So it had been raised into question. It had been mooted. Good synonym would be to bring up, to broach, to mention. It's also an adjective, meaning subject to debate, dispute, or uncertainty. So you could say whether the temperature rise was mainly due to the greenhouse effect was a moot point. You usually would use it as an adjective when you would say like a moot point to describe a point that is open for debate. Moot is also a noun, and it means an assembly held for debate. So you would say everybody in the town came out to see the, I don't know, scandalous moot, the assembly held for debate. The last word on here is a verb, so it's something that a noun does, and it means to imprison or confine. Incarcerate, incarcerate. And some synonyms would be to imprison, put away, intern, confine. Sentence might be many are incarcerated for property offenses. You would be incarcerated if you broke the law after being charged and being under indictment. Your lawyer might try to stay away from moot points or debatable points during your trial. Our next word, almost done, is increment. Increment. So increment is a noun, and it means an increase or addition, especially one in a series of a fixed scale. Increment normally has to do with money or numbers. Synonym would be addition, supplement, gain. Something is growing by increments. An increase, the inmate's pay can escalate in 5-cent increments to a maximum of 90 cents an hour. So there, the inmate's pay can grow in 5-cent increments. When I am cooking like spicy food, I will add the cayenne pepper in quarter teaspoon increments. Okay, so I'm adding little bit by bit. So if you go to take a look at your like bank statement, you might notice your money disappearing in increments as you spend it. The next word and last one is paltry. It's an adjective, and it means small or meager. It is not the same as increment, okay? So don't get them confused. They're different parts of speech, number one. But paltry is an adjective, and it means small or meager. Insignificant would be a good synonym. Inadequate, pitiful, um, trivial. In this sentence, she would earn only a paltry $33 more a month. So here, paltry, right, um, is describing the $33. She would only earn a small $33 more a month. Right? So it just means very small, like it's not even worth kind of looking at. Paltry is a negatively toned word. You would not use this word to describe somebody's height, though. I want to say that. You wouldn't say, like, oh, he's so paltry, he never made the basketball team. You would say, like, their score on during the match was so paltry that they went home embarrassed. Okay, that's it. Unit 9, all over.